Good evening, welcome to the Stephen Knight Show. Hope you're having a great Monday, and hopefully we'll make it a little bit better for you. Tonight we welcome hilarious comedian Anthony Moore. He joins us tonight to discuss his career and to give his take on some of the hot topics we're discussing. Plus, we discuss everything in hot topics everyone's talking about, movie reviews, fashion, sports, and the best indie music out there. Remind you, we're all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, and of course our official website, thestephennightshow.com. You can also purchase your t-shirts there. We're also on Spotify, iHeartRadio. Just go to our website, thestephennightshow.com. Look, we come back, hot topics, right back after this.
Music machine, lyrics.
This that banger right here, K.
Yeah, boy.
Word. Look.
Do you think?
Look. The product of housing tenements. Try blending with the innocent. It's to the moon like we chasing stars. Drinks in the air, we about to raise the bar. High Valerian can speak it, then can't eat with us. Dwayne Martin, these is just some seat fillers. Teach, level up there, see the growth. Cryptocurrency, bitcoins, to who need the most. Look. Was quick to want squeeze the toast. These days, bout my bread till I see a loaf. Greedy, couple plates, we gon' eat the most. Point game, if we trail, at least we keep it close. Sipping toast, sipping in moderation. It was written in a proclamation. My obligation to the fairest the will. Give food for thought till they cherish the meal. Swerve it and pill. Chicks, notice the squad. I ain't talking foreign exchange when I study abroad. Know the facade. Got us lunching up an Olive Garden. Talking about portfolios and profit margins. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the minimal. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the minimal. Deep slumber, sleep till we see numbers. In a vision, seen it like Steve Wonder. Each summer hit a monetary apex. Lifestyle's much more than having safe sex. Strategic talks, dudes who don't play chess. That's starving, only getting a taste test. Hood the thesaurus, finish wines imported. Learn the game from ballers that stay scoreless. Rap we paint portraits. Spitting riddles like we socially awkward. Pyrex jaws to the corporate office. Catapulted movements was flawless. We about to take a sabbatical. Got the brand, the crown's just collateral. We patrolling different avenues. Life's a bitch, used to wanna marry you. Look, it's kinda hard to think practical. Think it's simple to new rational. Lack of aptitude, now me down the Georgia Shore. Authoritative, if you spill it, then it's word be law. Coded language, shit you never heard before. Verbal onslaught, like what do you wanna hurt me for? Dig, I'm a lyrical enthusiast. Mumble rap, meet these niggas with a crucifix. We used to listen with exuberance. Think they bars coming from a lack of tutelage. Throwing jabs like a pugilist. Not the best, I suggest you go review your list. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the minimal. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the minimal.
We're finally here.
Talk to him, K.
We're finally here.
Boy, lyrics, man. K back the music machine.
We're finally here.
Feeling this.
We're finally here.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Miss Parker, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Listen, I have to give you props because I was looking at your Instagram over the weekend, and you looked amazing this weekend. I mean, you always look good, you know that, but you looked amazing. I don't know if love's in the air or what, but you look amazing this weekend. Everybody was saying it.
I appreciate it. I've been in the gym extra hard.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How was your weekend?
It was good. I had some friends in town from Vegas, San Diego, and Costa Rica.
Oh, nice.
So I was pretty busy trying to entertain everyone. We had a good time.
That's good. Yeah, I saw the pictures again.
Then I got sick, of course.
I know. Tell us about that.
Well, I think I was catching, like, I don't know if it's pollen or what, but I was all under the weather.
Yeah.
So I took some cold medicine and didn't realize that it had aspirin in it. I'm allergic to aspirin.
Man.
And so I got to check everything before I take it, but I didn't check. I just took it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, 20 minutes later, my face full up, my eyes full closed.
Yeah.
I mean, I just look like a completely different person. But this is like the 6th time it happened, and I've been diagnosed with aspirin allergy. I was diagnosed last year around this time.
Okay.
So it's just it's really serious because I literally have to check everything. When I was in the emergency room, when I sprung my foot in January, I twisted my foot. It was in February, I twisted my foot in the gym, and when I went to the emergency room, they weren't even able to give me any painkillers.
Wow.
Like, they were going to give me ice and wrap my foot. It was like
ouch.
Everything we have had aspirin in it. So I didn't realize that it was going to be that. It was going to be that much of an effect on my life.
And that aspirin it was in there so much stuff. Yeah.
Aspirin, so much stuff.
Yeah.
So now I just have to go through my cabinets and really just throw away everything that says aspirin as an ingredient in it. That way that won't happen again. But yeah, it's miserable because you're literally like my tongue swells up, my throat. I can't. It's like my ear starts ringing, my face was, my eyes was closed, and I can't. It's hard for me to breathe. I literally have to sit up so I can the effort to breathe. Man, it's miserable. Just gotta keep taking Benadryls, and then sometimes it goes away. So
you feel better now? Good. Glad to hear that. Okay, well, I'm glad you had a great weekend. I'm glad you're feeling better from that. Yeah, but that's important because we don't know how much aspirin's in so much stuff. You know what I mean? You wouldn't think cold medicine has aspirin in it, but yeah, I'm definitely glad you're feeling better. Yeah.
Right.
Mr. Chike,
have you always been allergic to aspirin? Was that a lifelong allergy?
No, it recently happened. So last year, October, about a year and a half ago, I went on a kayaking trip, whitewater rafting.
Oh yeah.
And I had went out the night before. So normally, what I do is when I go out the night before, I would take a BC powder, whether my head hurts or not, because it helped me kind of function the next day.
Right.
And so I woke up, I took a BC, and then we all met up at a meeting spot. And when we were in the car driving to the whitewater rafting thing, which is like 2 hours away from Atlanta, I started sneezing. And I thought, well, this lady have a dog and she have a cat, so maybe I'm allergic to one of those. Maybe, it's their fur or whatever.
Right.
So, literally, within 20 minutes, my eyes full up, like my face full up, and they were all like, "Oh my God, what's happening to you?" So she pulled over in the low corner store. We got some Benadryl, and I just kept my sunglasses on, and I just kind of roughed it through. The whitewater rafting trip was all day, but I still didn't understand what was going on. Then it happened again when I was in Trinidad for my birthday last year. I went out, I took a BC, which has been a normal practice of mine.
A lot of people do that.
My whole adult, yeah.
Yep.
And so then it happened while I was on this trip, and this time it was really bad. And so when I came home, I went to the allergist, and when they tested me, I was allergic to it. So maybe 2 years now, it's something that I developed as an adult.
Yeah, people do develop allergies as they get older. Stuff that you didn't bother you when you were younger. It's crazy. It's crazy. Mr. Chike, how was your weekend?
Yes, sir. My weekend was pretty good. I half relaxed, half worked. Yeah, it was productive.
Good.
I can't complain.
Good. I Saturday, Miss Parker knows about me. I sleep in on Saturdays. I'm talking about 12:30, 1 o'clock sometimes. But this
Nothing
particular,
wrong with it.
but this particular Saturday, I got up at 8:30 in the morning, and I got up and went and made my breakfast. I'm on this new eating regimen. My brother, and my best friend Ty were on it. And so anyway, so I went down to make my breakfast, and I said, you know what? Because I work out a lot during the week. Like some days I'll do two a days, like usually Tuesday through Thursday. And so weekends I don't. Weekends I chill. Miss Parker, she be getting it, but I don't. And so I was like, I spend so much time in the gym. And yeah, in the mornings I do, meditate and pray a little bit. I said, but I never do it on the weekends. I never, especially on Saturday, I never like consciously take time to work on my mental health on the weekends. So I started my day with that after I had my breakfast, and I had a great Saturday. I mean, I typically have good weekends, but I was just in a good mood. So that's what I did Saturday. It was great. It was great. So I recommend if you can get up before noon, do your.
I was about to say, you can't get up before noon.
Right. Right.
By the time you get up on the weekend, the morning is over.
Exactly.
To start whatever little bit of day you have.
Exactly. But no, so that right. Call a thing, as Iana says. But yeah, but that was I had a good Saturday. But anyway, our question today is, I thought it was just funny. Have you ever been fired from a job, Miss Parker?
Yep, I sure have. I was fired from a job.
Okay.
So I was fired from my first job, which was A&W Root Beer. Do you guys remember that?
Uh-huh.
I thought I was going to get fired because I lied on the application about my age, but it wasn't the reason. They never found that out. I was 14, I have to be 15 to work there, but I put the wrong year, and they never
found out. Okay.
But I remember I was leaving work one afternoon. It was probably, I worked like the second shift, whatever, so I was probably leaving. I think I worked from maybe from like 2 to 9 or 2 to 8, whatever it was. I was leaving, and the new shift was coming in, and they were like, "Oh, it was your time to clean the bathroom." I was like, "No, it's not," because we were supposed to take turns. Like, for example, if I work today and clean the bathroom today, the person I work with tomorrow, they clean the bathroom.
Right.
And I hated bathroom duty. So
I hate it too.
I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm not doing it." And I walked out and got in my car and went. And I go back, they were like, "You're fired." So I was like, okay, whatever. I already had another job lined up, so I went to the other job. And then I was fired from, I had 2 jobs. Right before I moved to Atlanta, when I was finishing college, I had 2 jobs. I worked at the Rio, which is one of the largest properties in Vegas.
Yeah.
I worked with VIP check-in. But before I got that job, I worked at a smaller hotel, the Tuscany, in their check-in people to the hotels. And I thought I was going to keep both jobs. The manager and I were real cool, and I told him, listen, I got this job at Rio. Rio was paying like double. But I would be able to work third shift after Rio. I could come here and work like 4 hours a day. Are you cool with that? He was like, yeah, that's fine. So I would get off the Rio. I believe I used to get up at 7, and I started my shift there at like 8:30, at 8.
Wow.
So I would get from Rio, go get from the eat event, and just start working again. But, obviously, after about 2 weeks, it got old. So I was staying here. I'm like, you don't need me. I would call the girl, like, how many people you got in front of us? And then I would never show. So I showed up one day. He was like, come back here. He handed me the pink slip. I'm like, I'm not taking that. And so I refused to take the slip, but I knew I was fired. So I'm like, I ain't going to take no pink slip. But it was all, both jobs were not jobs that I was dependent on because I already had other jobs.
Right.
But that when you're young, you're not.
You didn't think about it. Right.
That great.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, with the Rio job, even though I had responsibilities and bills to pay, I already had a job that was paid double, and I was just tired.
Yeah.
I was working 2 jobs and I was going to school. So, but yeah, I've been fired twice.
Okay. What about you, Chica?
So, twice I've been fired. The first was I was in high school, and back then, $10 an hour was a whole lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
And I was working at this warehouse called Edward Don. Shout out to Edward Don. And the company does restaurant equipment.
Okay.
They handle restaurant equipment. So it's like the mixers, the wares, the mixing bowls, the giant, industrial size mixing bowls. They handled all that stuff, and they shipped them out to restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a big warehouse, and I lied on the application and said that I had forklift. Now I was only like 17, maybe 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
I lied and said I had forklift experience, right? Me and my best friend. So we're in Edward Don, and keep in mind, the regular employees are striking, so we're crossing the picket line to go to work.
Wow.
And yeah, exactly. And so we're in there doing their work, working the forklift, which I had no idea how to really use, but I lied on the application. And we wind up, because we were riding on the forklift together, and we wind up riding it to like the nether regions of the warehouse and get the forklift stuck between the shelving where they house some of the equipment. And we couldn't get it out. So we just left it back there.
Wow.
So some course of, in the course of the day, somebody found it, and as we were, because we got paid every week, as we were getting our pay, the guy came up to the front, like our foreman, came up to the front, and he was like, yeah, don't bother coming back tomorrow. We found the forklift that you had stuck in the back.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
And then the second one was Old Navy. Got fired from Old Navy.
Wow.
That was my first job when I came home back to New Jersey from college.
Yeah.
And I just needed a quick job, to get some ends coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And to be totally honest, I got a job at a bank. They gave me the green light. I just didn't start yet, but I was still at Old Navy, and I was showing my butt because I knew I already had.
Because you had a job.
So
You said, "What's it to you?"
Yeah, and I was acting up. I mean, really acting up. And they were like, you can go home. I was like, you know what? Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Wow. Right. Thanks. No, let me tell a quick story. My brother, he worked at Papa John's, my big brother. And my brother was a person, he would work. Like, I work one job, and that's it. I remember I tried getting 2 jobs one time. I worked there 2 weekends, and I quit. But my brother, he's a worker. That's him. And so he got this job at Papa John's, and they got on his nerves one day. And they would let him take home a pizza at the end of the day. So he said, okay, I'm going to put pizza in my car, and I'll be right back. He got in that car and never came back. My mom said, that's not how you do it. But no, I have been let go from 2 jobs because of budget. But I almost got fired from a job I had. I started my senior year in high school, and then my first semester in college, I couldn't work. You couldn't work your first semester. But then after that, I worked there for 4 years. Me and my sister both worked there. And it was one of the supervisors who told me that HR had been pulling all my files. I'm like, for what? Because, I got more comfortable as a call center. And so I remember going into the HR's, because I kept hearing these rumors. So I went to the HR's office and asked them what was going on. And she had my whole personnel file on her desk. And so we had words, and she didn't let me go. But I found out the reason why she couldn't let me go, because you had to have every supervisor's permission to let a person go. And this one lady said, I'm not letting him go. And I didn't work on her team. She said, nope, I won't do it. So
well, did you find out why they pulled your file? Why did they have your file?
Well, when you start, especially in a call center environment, me and my sister were seen as the golden children. They thought everyone thought we were just like, everybody loved us. But I think I started getting more relaxed. And so, like, I started making my own schedule. Like, the shift was like 6 to 10. I come in at 4:30 to 8:30. It was just kind of thing. But I did my job. I've been there a long time. And I think they just were ready for a change. You know what I mean? But I had graduated from college, and I had a job that was pending. I was waiting for that final approval. And I couldn't wait. I remember I sat at my computer, and I typed out my resignation letter, and I was just waiting to put the date in that I could quit. And so, anyway. Well, tweet us at home.
You were probably in your feelings, too.
Yeah. Fire me for what? I did good some work there. But tweet us at home. Stephen Knight Show, SHO. Let us know if you ever been fired from a job. All right, so hot topic. So Kodak Black. Well, a lot of people are still mourning the tragic loss of Nipsey Hussle, who only passed away a week ago. Well, Kodak Black, he took to Instagram and said that he would give Lauren London, who is Nipsey's girlfriend, and they have a child together. He said he gave her a year to mourn and cry over him, and then he would shoot his shot. Now, that did not go well by T.I. or by The Game. T.I. posted a video, which he later deleted, and said, he said that, you're out of pocket, you need to fix this real quickly, and if I see you in person, I'm going to say it to your face. He did delete it, and he posted another video just pretty much telling him to chill out, you know what I mean? And then The Game took to social media as well and told him that he don't need to repeat even saying Nipsey's name. He doesn't need to come out his name. You're disrespectful, whatever. Kodak later apologized. But what do you think about? Do you think that social media just causes people not to think when they post things? I mean, a person was murdered a week ago, and you're playing around with it on social media. What are your thoughts on this, Ms. Parker?
I don't really know who called out Black Hands just from the blogs.
Right.
I know he posts a lot of ignorant stuff.
Yeah.
I think that they did move on this service by giving him that much attention. I think he should have been ignored.
Okay.
I think the fact that he got so much, that's what he craved.
Yeah.
That's what ignorant people like that crave.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the fact that all these celebrities going in, and they should have just ignored him. I think it got bigger and gave him more clout than it needed to.
When they responded, yeah, that makes sense. What about you, Chike?
Yeah, I agree. I think that there's something about social media that gets people thirsty for attention. Certain people.
Yeah.
And it's a quick way for you to get some attention. I mean, as we've seen, over the years, of people get on social media and they just start getting diarrhea of the mouth, and they say just a little bit too much, or they do a little bit too much on social media, and then it's like too much is out, and then it's like, oop, I said too much, but it's already out there now.
Yeah.
And now we have to deal with what was put out there, and then you have regrets about what you put out there, but you wanted the attention. You're just not getting the attention you thought you were going to get.
And then even so, like with T.I., he made an initial video, he deleted it, but once it's out there, it's out there. People still had that video. You know what I mean? I know he had good intentions, but what I'm saying is once you put something out, it's out there. It's crazy because I've been seeing a lot of people lately who are posting these nude or half nude pictures on social media trying to get likes. And someone I went to school with, I used to be really close with, I saw them post the same picture. I'm thinking, first of all, too soon. Body's not there. But I don't know what's this draw that people feel like that's what they have to do to get this attention on social media. You know what I mean? It really degrades yourself, I would think. But I think that people need to chill out, really. I mean, be yourself. Be yourself. I understand we all do a little something for the gram, but, especially with a murder, you have to have respect. You really do. But that's the culture we're in. All right, so this mother, she's in Texas. She's 29 years old. She did the unthinkable. So apparently she and her husband or boyfriend, whoever, they owed a drug debt to drug dealers or whatever. She sold her son, her 7-year-old son, for $2,500 to pay off the debt. She was arrested, and she also had 2 other kids, a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, that she was going to sell as well. But she was police raided her home and found the evidence that she had sold these children, and she admitted to it. She said that the woman that she owed the money to, paid $500 in cash to clear her debt, and then the $700 would be once the custody paperwork was signed. She is sentenced to 6 years for selling kids and 2 years for money laundering and conspiracy to sell or purchase child. Both will be served concurrently. What are your thoughts, Ms. Parker?
She stole a 7-year-old child.
Yep, her 7-year-old child. Yep.
I can't get her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so did the person buying the child get arrested too?
Yeah, she got arrested too. Yep.
Yeah, it should.
For $500?
What did she want a 7-year-old child for?
I guess she wanted a child, but yeah.
No, but that's kind of weird. That sounds like not so I want to be a mother type thing.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah, I agree.
I think both should have been arrested. It's horrible. That's horrible.
Chike?
So at 7 years old, your mind is pretty intact.
Yeah.
You can comprehend certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And at 7 years old, I could comprehend the fact that my mother put me up for sale.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of damage does that do to you for the rest of your life? What is this child going to think moving forward?
Mm-hmm. I agree. You know, when I was before I moved to Atlanta, I worked with the youth in court services, and we would get these. Anytime I get a new child, a new case, I would get a social history, and it told the history of the kid's parents, grandparents, and sometimes, further than that. And I realized reading those, and I would never read them before I met the kid because I didn't want to have my preconceived notions, but I would read it after I met the kid. But I realized in many cases, these kids, they were set up for failure from the beginning. You know what I mean? Because everyone's not meant to have kids. Everyone's not meant to have kids. They're not meant to have kids. And the fact that you could sell your 7... Who would... I know mothers who... They love their children. They'll do anything for their children. You gonna sell them for $700? It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right. Well, me and Miss Park were talking about this earlier. The View. So you're getting a lot of people been talking about. Meghan McCain and Joy Behar. They are both co-hosts on The View, and they typically butt heads. Well, today they were discussing Kirsten Nelson. She is leaving her position as Homeland Security Secretary, and she's been replaced by Kevin McAleen, who is the current Customs and Border Protection Commissioner. He's just interim. Well, Joy was discussing the fact that the U.S. should be taking care of Central Americans instead of, treating them the way we've been treating them under this administration. And so Megan kept cutting her off while she was trying to finish her point. And Joy said, well, let me just finish my point. I listened to you. Listen to me. And Megan said, well, part of your job is listening to me. And the whole audience kind of was like, whoa. And Joy even looked like, wow. And Whoopi stepped in and said, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. Everyone has their right to talk. And even if you don't agree with them, you just don't respond. Just say your part. Let them say their part. Now, Ms. Parker, we were talking about earlier today. You said that you don't think that's been the biggest disagreement you've seen with them, but a lot of media's picked up on this. What are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the attention they got because I just feel like it really wasn't that big of a deal. I've seen them argue,
Mm-hmm.
going in on each other.
Yeah.
I think Meg's a tough personality, and if I was on that show, I would have a hard time like Joy does. And I think some people are more tolerant of her personality, and it's just more about chemistry. Her and Joy doesn't get along. I think I can relate to a lot of what Joy feels about Megan. But I think some of her other co-hosts are able to manage their emotion a little bit more. Joy's a little bit more passionate about what she believes in.
Yeah.
And so it comes across, where it really shows where those two ladies don't get along. But I don't know why Megan is on the show because no one likes her.
Yeah.
So it's not her audience. You know what I mean? Like she'll do well on a Fox or something that caters to her audience. She just doesn't do well on that show because she's too far right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Chica?
Well, she's the new Elizabeth Hasselbeck. They need one of those on the show to play opposite of another person.
Mm-hmm.
So before it was Rosie O'Donnell and Elizabeth Hasselbeck. They used to
Right.
go at it all the time.
Right.
So now it's Joy, and they're always going to have that antagonist on the show. It's part of the dynamic.
That's true. Yeah. But I think they tried to balance it out by adding Abby to the show because her and Megan are like best friends and they're both Republicans. And I think they tried to balance it out. But it seems like Abby's more... Either she's more settled with the way she says things. Like she comes off as...
She have more compassion.
Yeah, more compassion.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And class.
No, she does. Yeah, she really does. But it's interesting you brought up Elizabeth Chike because a book came out last week that talked about behind the scenes at The View. and it talks about an argument that Elizabeth had with Barbara Walters. Well, Barbara Walters was kind of getting on her on air, and so Elizabeth on commercial break stormed off the stage, and they have audio of her going off saying that she's not going back out there, she don't need this job, and she's not pretty much going off on Barbara Walters. She did coming back, when the break was over, but it was just interesting how, it's interesting, Miss Parker, because you said you don't know why Megan's on the show, and she mentions it often that she's the outsider on the show. I mean, she gives her conservative views, but the fact that most people don't agree with her.
I stopped watching the View because of this.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the View again until she left.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just think people like Elizabeth, like Megan, they need to be on a show that is catered to Republicans.
Yeah.
And not moderate Republicans, like far left Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't rationalize any conversation with them.
Right. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's take a quick break and we'll come back with a couple more hot topics right back after this.
Doctor E.
It's been a long time coming out. I overcame all the drama now. I'm going strong on my bounce back. My setback got me on track. Now every day it's a new task. Face my fears covered up underneath the mask. I had to ease my mind from the crazy shit, adjusted for the perfect fit. Scars from my past, but surrounded with the counterfeit. All I need in this life is me. No stress, no pain, feel free. Look around, up and down, can't you see? All I need is me. Let me catch the grips, control my attitude, let me lock my lips. And when they pop the clips, I push the anchor down, then I rock the ship. Yo, I been smoking steady, tripping, get the sipping. Told them, listen, I ain't ready for the petty. When I dodge it, I stay ready. Fatal humble, keep it heavy, stay low key. Call me shady, I ain't with it. Tell them critics, I ain't with it. It was kinda hard for me to see. Dreaded pain turn to misery. Lack of love in the families. Jealousy from my enemies. I had to keep it going. Shoulder weight maxed out, keep it flowing. Then I rise above it. Bragging rights, longer nights, I put nothing for it. Chook. All I need in this life is me. No stress, no pain, feel free. Look around, up and down, can't you see? All I need is me. All I need in this life is me. No stress, no pain, feel free. Look around, up and down, can't you see? All I need is me. Yeah. All I need is. Ain't nobody out here living for me. 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 This recovery. So now I'm headed to recovery. Way to recovery. I'm headed to recovery. So now, I'm headed to recovery. Gotta recover me. Now I'm headed to recovery. Me. Breathe. See. All I need is me. All I need in this life is me. No stress, no pain, feel free. Look around, up and down, can't you see? All I need is me.
guess I was wrong. What do she got that I ain't got? What can she do that I can't do? I got the beauty and the brains, but love made you go insane. And now you wanna walk away and give all your love away. I put in the time, and you're still not mine. Ooh, you're so stupid. Baby, I'm the baddest. You could've had it. How could you lose me? Baby, I'm the baddest. You could've had it. How could you lose me? Was it worth it? I hope that it was worth it. Please tell me it was worth it. I wanna know, I gotta know, 'cause my stomach is hurting and my heart is aching, and I keep on praying that you are mistaken. Ooh, she can't talk how I talk, she can't walk how I walk. Ooh, how could you lose me? Baby, I'm the baddest. You could've had it. How could you lose me? Baby, I'm the baddest. You could've had it. How could you lose me?
What's up, y'all? Comedian Anthony Moore here. Make sure y'all stay tuned in to the Stephen Knight Show.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Miss Parker, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Listen, I have to give you props because I was looking at your Instagram over the weekend, and you looked amazing this weekend. I mean, you always look good, you know that, but you looked amazing. I don't know if love's in the air or what, but you look amazing this weekend. Everybody was saying it.
I appreciate it. I've been in the gym extra hard.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How was your weekend?
Thank you. It was good. I had some friends in town from Vegas, San Diego, and Costa Rica.
Oh, nice.
So I was pretty busy trying to entertain everyone. We had a good time.
That's good. Yeah, I saw the pictures again.
Then I got sick, of course.
I know. Tell us about that.
Well, I think I was catching, like, I don't know if it's pollen or what, but I felt under the weather.
Yeah.
So I took some cold medicine and didn't realize that it had aspirin in it. I'm allergic to aspirin.
Man.
And so I got to check everything before I take it, but I didn't check. I just took it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, 20 minutes later, my face full up, my eyes full closed.
Yeah.
I mean, I just look like a completely different person. But this is like the sixth time it happened, and I've been diagnosed with aspirin allergies. I was diagnosed last year around this time.
Okay.
So it's just it's really serious because I literally have to check everything. When I was in the emergency room, when I sprung my foot in January, I twisted my foot. It was in February, February, I twisted my foot in the gym, and when I went to the emergency room, they weren't even able to give me any painkillers.
Wow.
Like, they were just they were going to give me ice and wrap my foot. It was like
ouch.
Everything we have had aspirin in it. So I didn't realize that it was going to be that. It was going to be that much of an effect on my life.
And that aspirin it was in there so much stuff. Yeah.
Aspirin, so much stuff.
Yeah.
So now I just have to go through my cabinets and really just throw away everything that says aspirin, that's the ingredient in it. That way that won't happen again. But yeah, it's miserable because you're literally like just my tongue swells up, my throat. I can't. It's like my ear starts ringing, my face swells up, my eyes swells closed, and I can't. It's hard for me to breathe. I literally have to sit up so I can the effort to breathe. Man, it's miserable. Just gotta keep taking Benadryls, and then sometimes it goes away. So
you feel better now?
Today.
Good. Glad to hear that. Okay, well I'm glad you had a great week, and I'm glad you're feeling better from that. Yeah, but that's important because we don't know how much aspirin's in so much stuff. You know what I mean? You wouldn't think cold medicine has aspirin in it, but yeah, I'm definitely glad you're feeling better. Yeah.
Right.
Mr. Chicken,
have you always been allergic to aspirin? Was that a lifelong
No,
allergy?
it recently happened. So last year, October, no, about a year and a half ago, I went on a kayaking trip, whitewater rafting.
Oh yeah.
And I had went out the night before. So normally, what I do is when I go out the night before, I would take a BC powder, whether my head hurts or not, because it helps me kind of function the next day.
Right.
And so I woke up, I took a BC, and then we all met up at a meeting spot. And when we were in the car driving to the whitewater rafting thing, which is like 2 hours away from Atlanta, I started sneezing. And I thought, well, this lady have a dog and she have a cat, so maybe I'm allergic to one of those. Maybe it's their fur or whatever.
Right.
So, like literally, like within 20 minutes, my eyes full up, like my face full up, and they were all like, "Oh my God, what's happening to you?" So she pulled over at the low corner store. We got some Benadryl, and I just kept my sunglasses on, and I just kind of just roughed it through. The whitewater rafting trip was all day, but I still didn't understand what was going on. Then it happened again when I was in Trinidad for my birthday last year. I went out, I took a BC, which has been a normal practice of mine.
A lot of people do that.
My whole adult. Yeah.
Yep.
And so then it happened while I was on this trip, and this time it was really bad. And so when I came home, I went to the allergist, and when they tested me, I was allergic to it. So maybe 2 years now, it's something that I developed as an adult.
Yeah, people do develop allergies as they get older. Stuff that you didn't bother you when you were younger. It's crazy. It's crazy. Mr. Chike, how was your weekend?
Yes, sir. My weekend was pretty good. I half relaxed, half worked. Yeah, it was productive.
Good.
I can't complain.
Good. I Saturday, Miss Parker knows about me. I sleep in on Saturdays. I'm talking about 12:30, 1 o'clock sometimes. But this particular,
Nothing wrong with it.
But this particular Saturday, I got up at 8:30 in the morning, and I got up and went and made my breakfast. I'm on this new eating regimen. My brother, and my best friend Ty were on it. And so anyway, so I went down to make my breakfast, and I said, you know what? Because I work out a lot during the week. Like some days I'll do two a days, like usually Tuesday through Thursday. And so weekends I don't. Weekends I chill. Miss Parker, she be getting it, but I don't. And so I was like, I spend so much time in the gym. And yeah, in the mornings I do, meditate and pray a little bit. I said, but I never do it on the weekends. I never, especially on Saturday, I never consciously take time to work on my mental health on the weekends. So I started my day with that after I had my breakfast, and I had a great Saturday. I typically have good weekends, but I was just in a good mood. So that's what I did Saturday. It was great. It was great. So I recommend if you can get up before noon, do your
I was about to say, you can't get up before noon.
Right. Right.
By the time you get up on the weekend, the morning is over.
Exactly.
To start whatever little bit of day you have.
Exactly. But no, so that right. Call a thing, as Iana says. But yeah, but that was I had a good Saturday. But anyway, our question today is, I thought this was funny. Have you ever been fired from a job, Miss Parker?
Yep, I sure have. I was fired from a job.
Okay.
So I was fired from my first job, which is A&W Root Beer. Do you guys remember that? I thought I was going to get fired because I lied on the application about my age, but it wasn't the reason. They never found that out. I was 14, I have to be 15 to work there, but I put the wrong year, and they never
found out. Okay.
But I remember I was leaving work one afternoon. I worked like the second shift, whatever. So I was probably leaving. I think I worked from maybe from 2 to 9 or 2 to 8, whatever it was. I was leaving, and the new shift was coming in, and they were like, "Oh, it was your time to clean the bathroom." I was like, "No, it's not," because we were supposed to take turns. Like, for example, if I work today and clean the bathroom today, the person I work with tomorrow, they clean the bathroom.
Right.
And I hated bathroom duty. So
I hate it too.
I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm not doing it." And I walked out and got in my car and went to work. And when I go back, they were like, "You're fired." So I was like, "Okay, whatever." I already had another job lined up, so I went to the other job. And then I was fired from, I had 2 jobs right before I moved to Atlanta. when I was finishing college, I had 2 jobs. I worked at the Rio, which is one of the largest properties in Vegas.
Yeah.
I worked with VIP check-in. But before I got...
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Our guest tonight is a hilarious comedian out of West Philadelphia, but...
You don't love me. You don't love me. No, no, no.
Speak to him, Naya.
I'll wash your clothes, rub your back, run your bath water. I raise your kids, love you down, do things for you. You decide to act like a fool, run around and leave me like you do. Every day I stood by your side. I pray to God that things would be alright. Say you love me, don't say you love me. Just show me you don't really love me. No, 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 you don't really love me. No, 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 you don't really love me. No, 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 love me, no, 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 no. I cook the food, clean the house, wash the dishes. I pay the bills and grant you all your wishes. I don't mean to upset your mind, 'cause you say I'm nagging all the time. But it seems you take me for granted. Let you know, baby, I can stand it. Say you love me, don't say you love me. Just show me you don't really love me. No, 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 you don't really love me like you say you do. You don't really love me. No, 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 love me, no, 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 love me like you say. Lend an ear, get my all, stroke your ego. Where you go, you know I follow. All I need is just some affection from your direction. Give me that affection. To this day, I love you for life. But I know I just can't make it right. Say you love me, don't say you love me. Just show me you don't really love me. No, 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 you don't really love me. No, 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 you don't really love me. No, 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 love me, no, 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 love me like you say you do. No, 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 you don't really love me. No, 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 you don't really love me. No, 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 you don't love me.
Naya. Just bounce with me. Just bounce with me.
Everything, I wanna do everything, but not everybody deserves everything you want. All of me, I would give you all of me. I just gotta know you're with me once we go too far. Can I trust you with all my fantasies? Can I trust you tonight? If I trust you, I'd do almost anything. Can I trust you tonight? And I don't wanna hold back, no, I don't wanna do it if it's gonna be wrong. Tell me you'll keep your lips sealed, unless your lips fail. And I don't trust you? I do almost anything. Can I trust you tonight? Look at me. Don't stop, but just look at me. And tell me you understand this moment is just us. Believe you me, your secrets are safe with me. The more free you are right now, the more I can go on. I don't wanna hold back, no. I don't wanna do it if it's gonna be wrong. Tell me you keep your lips sealed. Unless your lips fail. Can I trust you? All my fantasies. Can I trust you tonight? Can I trust you? Almost anything. Can I trust you tonight? Can I trust you
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Our guest tonight is a hilarious comedian out of West Philadelphia, but currently resides in New York. He's worked alongside Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, you just name them. Please help me welcome the very hilarious Anthony Moore. Welcome to the show.
Oh, what's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Definitely appreciate you taking time out your schedule. So, as I said, you were born in West Philadelphia. How did you get into comedy? How did you know that's what you wanted to pursue?
Well, in high school, I was always like the funny, opinionated one. Always used to joke around. But then I ended up going to college at St. Joe's, and I remember at the time, like just being a freshman, trying to figure out what I wanted to do at life. At the time, I was an accounting major.
Okay.
But at my school, around spring semester, they have a talent show every year.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that hosted the talent show the year before, he graduated.
Oh, okay.
So they needed a new host. So all my friends were coming up to me like, "Yo, you should do this. Like, you should host it." I'm like, "Man, I'm funny with y'all, but I'm not funny on
it's
stage."
Different.
Like,
yeah.
yeah. So I ended up eventually like they just ended up talking me into hosting it, and I did a good job. So after that, I just started going to open mics and just like little bar shows around the city. Well, at the time, I wasn't even supposed to be allowed to get into these bar shows because at the time when I started, I was 18.
Okay.
So I was like, so like I was sneaking in and like just going to open mics, and that's how like I just kept up at it.
So once you decided that this is what you wanted to pursue, were there certain comics that you kind of studied or just looked to as influence?
Yeah, well, the comedian that like really took me under his wing, comedian known by Two-Ray.
Okay.
Two-Ray Gordon from Philly. He's Philly legend. He's performed all over, and he really took me under his wing and just taught me the ropes of like how to get together like a 5 to 7 minute set.
Yeah.
And just the ins and outs of the business, like comedy on stage and all.
Yeah.
So he really like helped me out a lot. But then like the comedians I grew up watching everybody. So, and I really feel like that helped my style a lot because like with my parents, I would watch the shows that they would watch, like the Jeffersons or Stand for the Sun. things like that. But then I also will watch like the newer stuff, like when Comic View was on, or like Jamie Foxx show, the Hughley, things like that. But then I remember like in high school when like I would stay with my dad. I remember it was like a period we didn't have cable.
Okay.
So it was like the shows I had to watch because we didn't have cable. I would have to watch stuff like Everybody Loves Raymond, The King of Queens. So it was like I was forced to like those shows, but it helped round me out. Like I got a good base of like everything.
Yeah, the blessing in disguise, huh?
Right.
So do you remember the very first stand-up show by yourself? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember my first one. Outside, because I say the open mics, well, doing the talent show, that was my first time on stage, but that was easy just because all my friends were there.
Right.
I say like my first actual comedy show that I went to, I did this bar show in West Philly on like 52nd Street, like basically in the heart of the hood.
Okay.
And like in this bar, it was like an older bar. Like to get in, like you had to be. It was a 25 and up. So I really wasn't supposed to be in there.
Right.
But they let me in. They let me in just to do a set. And right after my set, I had to leave. But I did really good. And I guess what also helped me was like they wasn't expecting me to be so young and confident behind my material.
Yeah. What makes a good comic?
A good comic. I say you kind of. What makes a good comic when that comic leaves the stage, and you have the sense of you know this person a little bit.
Yeah.
So, because I feel like now with social media and things like that, people want that instant gratification. So they aren't really taking their time to work on their craft. And I say with material, you need two things. Either you need to know who that comedian is or how they feel about something, or their opinion on things. So anything else, if it doesn't fall under those two categories, you're just on stage trying to be funny without saying anything.
Right.
So with me, when I leave the stage, you want to either know like about my job, about like me working in different schools, or my life in college, or my relationship, how it is living with my mom and dad, or my opinion on things. Like if something happened in the news, I might touch on that, or just like how it is for me living in New York. But then you got comedians out here just trying to be funny, but really aren't saying anything. And that's like, for example, like I keep it real. Like I learned a lot of bad habits from growing up. Like I remember, you ever watch like classic Comic View?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you remember, like they used to do a montage, and they used to show comedians. They used to show comedians doing like they'll do about 5 minutes showing comedians doing like jokes about George Bush. Then like 5 minutes of comedians doing jokes about gas prices so high.
Right.
Back then, I thought it was hilarious. But looking back on it now, it's like that's bad comedy. Like everybody's talking about the same topic and they're not really separating themselves. Like you don't like you just know you watching 5 minutes of people talk about the same joke, but you don't even know who is who because they really aren't saying anything of like some real substance.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. How do you know? Because I know just recently, Just a Mess, she got into some trouble because she made a joke about the people that were put off the plane, the Muslim people that were put off the plane, and of course she's having to backtrack and apologize and go through all that. But how do you know as a comedian what not to touch?
I feel like no, there's really no topic off like that's off limits. Yeah. I feel like you could make a joke about anything as long as it's funny. And I think like me, that was my problem with Just Said. It was like if she was just joking, if she was just joking, it's like okay, like it was just a bad joke that didn't hit.
A bad joke.
But I feel like in that situation, she was just saying how she really felt. Like it was no intent of being funny. Like, and I feel like if there was if the intent was to just be funny, it's like okay, like I get it, you're a comic. Like jokes bomb sometimes.
Right, exactly.
Like that's it. But it was like in that situation, it was like no, you just being ignorant.
Yeah.
And but that goes to like back to what I say, like with the social media, the whole instant gratification thing. It's like she rose so quick, so it's like you can't tell somebody like that anything because in her head, she probably thinks she know everything. It's like why?
I did this right, exactly. Yeah.
Right, yeah. It's like what I gotta be humble for if I don't gain this following in a year, like versus somebody that took the time and it took them 10, 15 years to get to that level. They're gonna really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's true because they know the grind, they know the sweat and tears behind it. Do you think that we live in a society now with the Me Too movements and a lot of people being more PC because they don't want to get under fire, like something like that. Has that hurt the comedy industry, or how do you as a comic make sure that you definitely doing your thing, but still being mindful of all the movements and people being more PC now?
I really don't think it. I don't think it hurt comedy, really. I think just people just have to. I think it forces you to be more creative.
Yeah,
like it'll really separate you. Now, you just can't go on stage and you can't just say things for shock value anymore. Like you really gotta have some jokes.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the only thing. I think the only thing I don't like about this whole PC culture is with people going to look for like people's tweets when like they try to search
from like
old tweets
10 years ago and yeah.
It's like that's the only thing I like. It's like you're going out your way
to look for
find something. I could see like what Just Said is like. Okay, she said that now she was wrong, but in like the situation where people was going to go dig up Kevin Hart tweets.
Yeah,
it's like you going so far out your way to look up something from 10 years ago. It's like what he said. Don't get me wrong. What he said was wrong, but it's
right.
You went to go look for it.
And he had already apologized for it. He's talking about how much he's evolved. That's what I thought was ridiculous. But I think Nick Cannon made a great point when he went back and looked back on Amy Schumer's old tweets. Jimmy Fallon's old tweet. People have all said ignorant stuff. You know what I mean? But people do evolve as people, and I think it is. Depending on how deplorable it was what they said, I think that people should be forgiven. You know what I mean? And people are quick. People are quick these days to cancel. Like they're trying to cancel Jess. I think. I think that was a good lesson for her because she was ignorant to the Muslim faith in the community. You know what I mean? And she admitted to that. And so I think it's a teachable moment as opposed to quick to cancel somebody. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna get your thoughts on some of the things that we've been talking about on the show in our hot topic segment. What are your thoughts on the whole R. Kelly and mute R. Kelly and mute Michael Jackson situations?
Man, it's crazy. Like R. Kelly, it's so hard because like I love his music.
Yeah.
Like not even just like the regular like I Believe I Could Fly and all of that stuff. I love like the album cut. Like, it's tough. Like after watching the series, it's tough. Like I felt like I couldn't even listen to it no more. Just when you find out the whole backstories of like how the songs were made, like dang, this was about this person,
right?
Or just like when they were talking about like just how like he met certain girls, like how he met Aaliyah when she was 12, like things like that. It's like you feel comfortable listening to him no more.
Right.
Well, Michael Jackson's situation, it's like I feel like he's what he damn. I'm tired on this one.
Yeah, that's a hard one. That's a hard one.
Well, Mike is like, all right, he was definitely weird, but I feel like if something would have happened, I feel like it would have been found. Like, you had the feds looking, going hard to find something. They was investigating for like I think they said like 10 years and didn't find anything. Then his documentary, like at least in R. Kelly documentary, you had people on both sides. Like, you had people he worked with, you had his family members, and then you also heard like the victim side. So it was like you get both perspectives. You get the perspective from the victims and their families, and then the people that helped R. Kelly.
Yeah.
But Michael Jackson, you just had two guys and their family, and like none of Mike people. Like, it was just so one-sided, and they really had like, it was like no evidence. It was just going off of hearsay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the college admissions scandal?
With that, it's funny because I honestly thought that was just how college worked.
Right.
Like, I just thought like,
Right.
I really I thought that was a known thing that like rich people just pay for their kids to get into college. Like,
so you weren't surprised at all by none of that?
At all.
Yeah, right. No, that's
right.
true.
I was surprised that was news.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, it's the biggest. They said it's the biggest scandal like this in U.S. history. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Right, yeah.
That's crazy. Them people, they won't play it. They won't play it. So, what else do you have that you're working on currently?
Currently, I'm just trying to push out this online content.
Okay.
Like, just consistently drop videos. I got I shot a short little film over around December. I shot a short film that's supposed to be like this with like some people I went to school with.
Okay.
That should be coming out any day now.
Nice.
Just to like try to submit that to festivals and stuff like right now.
Okay.
And I'm about to go overseas. In April for about a few weeks. I'm about to do like a tour for like performing for the troops. Where I go to a few different countries in Europe.
Yeah, most definitely.
And then when I come back from that, it's just preparing for the summer, like just trying to book colleges for the fall.
Yeah.
And just trying to like get the different clubs around the country.
Yeah. Is it competitive market?
Well, like performing in colleges or just comedy in general?
Comedy in general.
Yeah, no, it's so competitive now, especially
with social media.
Especially with social media, because it's like with jokes, you gotta worry about like, okay, I gotta be original to where no other comic has said this, but then you gotta think like, okay, I want to say something that like can't just be put in a meme, or somebody could just take my idea and put it into an Instagram skit.
Yeah.
Things like that. So it forces you to write so much more.
That's true. Where can people keep up with you on social media?
Twitter, Instagram, all that and more. Facebook, Anthony Moore at Facebook.com/comedian Anthony Moore. And that's Moore with 2 O's, Moore.
Yeah. Anthony, man, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. I wish you nothing but continued success, especially with your tour overseas and preparing for the fall. But yeah, appreciate you.
No, thanks for having me, man.
Most definitely. Anytime. For more information about Anthony Moore, please go to our website, thestephennightshow.com. We'll be right back after this.
I've been on you for a minute. Low key double tap while I'm flicking. Got my cuz as a mutual, but you don't even know me. I can hit you up with a DM, but I ain't trying to show you that I'm crushing. But I've been trying to figure out how to make you notice that I'm qualified fight to step to you correctly, and I'm not gonna fight if you have to reject me, but it's looking like you're interested. Heard all that from my cousin. Is she telling me the truth? Cause I'm really feeling you. Tell me what you wanna do. Tell me what you want, oh yeah. Tell me what you need, oh yeah. Tell me, do you got a man? Is he good? Can he do it to you just like me? Now come on baby, tell me. Tell me, tell me, oh yeah. Tell me if you wanna rock with a nigga. Tell me if you wanna ride with me. Now we've been talking for a minute. So tight, feel like you could be my fitted. And girl, the way that you move gets me so hooked, I'll admit it. And you ain't even let me hit it, cause you don't wanna rush and kill the moment. But you ain't gotta worry about a thing, I promise, girl, that I'm qualified to step to you correctly. And I'm not gonna fight if you have to reject me, but it's looking like you're interested. Can't deny what your heart says. If it's telling you the truth, girl, you know what to do, cause I'm really feeling you. Tell me what you want, what you want. Tell me what you need, what you need. Tell me, do you got a man? Is he good? Can he do it to you just like me? Now come on, baby, tell me. Oh yeah. Tell me. Oh yeah. Tell me if you wanna rock with a nigga. Tell me if you wanna ride with me.
You wanna know what's on my mind. You wanna know how you could take up all my time. I like a chase, yeah, I see it all up in your eyes. And every day you hitting me with all of your best lines. I'm not blind, yeah, I see you fly. My kind of guy, you a boss to stay on your grind. Ain't gotta try, not shy, just be patient. Promise you won't be waiting for long. Wanna be sure you the right one, come on. You know I can't make it easy for you, tell me. Can you make it do what it do? So you want me to be a part of your crew? You wanna be the one that I'm calling my boo? That's cool, you know you gotta come correct, cause KT ain't got time for the disrespect. Hope we connect like magnets. You could be my captain or else I'll be yours to the next.
Tell me what you want, what you want. Tell me what you need, what you need. Tell me, do you got a man? Is he good? Can he do it to you just like me? Now come on, baby, tell me. Tell me, tell me. Oh yeah. Tell me if you wanna rock with a nigga. Tell me if you wanna ride with me. Ride with me, yeah.
Girl, let me get to know you. Girl, let me represent you. Girl, I can be your best and you won't regret anything that I show you. Girl, my one and only. Girl, just you and me. Girl, I can be your best and you won't regret anything that I show you. I've been checking on you all night since you walked into this place. It's like you had a spotlight shining down on your space. Should've seen the expression on everybody's face. You was bad as hell, I had to have you here with me. Cause I was checking on the right side, then I peeped around the left side. Then everybody disappeared and out of nowhere you was right in front of my eyes. And you was looking so fine, I had to make you mine tonight. Cause I finally got the chance to stop and say that baby you should be mine. Girl, let me get to know you. Girl, let me represent you. Girl, I can be your best and you won't regret anything that I show you. Anything I show you. Girl, my one and only. Girl, just you and me. Girl, I can be your best and you won't regret anything that I show you. Yeah. See, I done picked you, baby. And all you need is a guy like me. That's what I'm thinking, baby. So let me
say that, baby, you should be mine. Girl, let me get to know you. Girl, let me represent you. Girl, I can be your best. You won't regret anything that I show you. Girl, my one and only. Girl, just you and me. Girl, I can be your best and you won't regret anything that I show you. Baby, I swear I won't be the one to let you down. If you read between the lines, you see that everything in you should be with me. So let me be the one to put you down. And you really ain't gotta think about it. Take the chance and being my girl. Girl, let me get to know you. Hey. Girl, let me represent you. Girl, I can be your best and you won't regret anything that I show you. Girl, my one and only. Girl, just you and me. I can be your best and you won't regret anything that I show you. Girl, let me get to know you. Girl, let me represent you. Girl, I can be your best and you won't regret anything that I show you. Anything I show you, girl. My one and only. Girl, just you and me. Girl, I can be your best and you won't regret anything that I show you. Yeah. Would you be my girl? Yeah. Would you be my girl? Ooh. Would you be my girl? Yeah. Would you be my girl? My girl. Would you be my girl? My girl. My girl. Would you be my girl? My girl. Would you be my girl? My girl. Ooh, yeah, yeah.
Hey guys, this is Shane Moore, and we're listening to The Stephen Knight Show.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Adam, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was great.
I saw
It
you.
was,
I
great
saw some
here.
pictures. What were, you and the missus were doing something. What were y'all doing this weekend?
Yeah, so we went to. She had a friend in town, so we went to hang out with her, and we just, we went out. I mean, we just spent time outside. Went
Nice.
to kind of there's an area with graffiti on the wall near us that they just redid with little rubber duckies. That was pretty fun, and yeah, everyone was kind of out and about this weekend. So
Nice.
Hoping the good weather continues.
Yeah. Well, we had great weather here, but it's supposed to rain the rest of the week.
Oh, that's a bummer.
All right. Well, I'll let you and Chige take away movie reviews.
Sure thing. So I know it's been a few weeks for me, but I wanted to catch up on kind of both of our Captain Marvels that has come out in the past month. And the first one is the title film Captain Marvel. And I know, Chike, you've talked about this, and I just kind of want to add on to your thoughts. I know you said you're kind of tired of the origin movies, and I think I do get it. I did like Captain Marvel. For anyone who hasn't seen it yet, it's about the story of this superhero called Captain Marvel. She's part of the Marvel Universe, and this is her story in the 90s of her meeting Nick Fury for the first time and kind of what's going on with her and this other race, the Skrulls, which we saw last in Captain America Winter Soldier. Anyway, yeah, it is an origin movie, but I thought they did a great job. You know, Marvel's still kind of hanging in there with unique stories, and the way they did the kind of the battle between the Kree and the Skrulls, I think they did a good job. I do think a little too much 90s kind of callback. You know, I think they were laying it on strong with falling into a blockbuster, going to the Radio Shack, you know, all the callbacks they could do. But, you know, it is a fun movie, and it is setting up for Avengers Endgame, so it's kind of one of those movies you don't need to watch, but it's good to watch to see where she's been this whole time since we got her paged at the end of the last Avenger movie. it'll be interesting to see what they do. You know, Captain Marvel's kind of like a Superman in the sense that she has all the powers, and when your superhero has all the powers, how do you make them interesting? So that'll be interesting to see. But I agree, TK. Maybe, you know, these origin stories are getting worn out. Which
I don't mind the origin story, because the origin story needs to be told. What I mind is I just feel like at this point it's like old hat to them. Like, they know that it's going to be a box office, so they just do the bare minimum because they can.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that's what we have. So I don't know. I think Endgame is going to be greater than. Of course, it's going to be greater than. They're going to pull out all the stops, all the bells and whistles for Endgame, because it's going to be the Cadillac of the movies. However, you know, when you're introducing a new character and you do these sub-characters, like someone like Captain Marvel or Ant-Man, give it the same kind of love. Give it the same kind of love you would give a Spider-Man or Iron Man, or at this point a Captain America or Wolverine. You know, give it the same kind of love. Don't just phone it in.
Yeah. Agreed. But speaking of the other Captain Marvel, I did go see Shazam this weekend, and for anyone who wants a little history, you can search all about it. But Shazam is called Shazam because his name used to be Captain Marvel, because he used to be owned by another comic book company in the 40s that DC sued because he was too much like Superman. Then there's a whole web of that. But this movie follows the story of a kid who gets the power of Shazam from this ancient wizard. And it does star Zachary Levi. And this one was a fun one. It's definitely, you know, you've seen the trailer. It triggers on kind of the happy, you know, this kid who's 13, 14, 15 can turn into an adult superhero. So what would you do as a kid as a superhero? You would do all these crazy things. You know, there's a scene where he's using his electric fingers to go to an ATM and get all the money out of it so he can buy candy and all this stuff. And so that being said, it's a fun movie, and the leads, actually, I think all the acting was well done in this, but this one definitely felt very dated. And by that I mean, you get these bullies in the high school that are still giving wedgies, and like, it just felt like this movie was like kind of stuck in time. Like, maybe this should have came out in the 90s. Do bullies like that even exist? I don't know. I mean, I'm not in
very tongue-in-cheek.
realm. Yeah, very tongue-in-cheek and very, like, cheesy. Also, and a little bit of a spoiler, so if you want to stop just for a moment, the whole, Chica, you can let me know because I know you saw this, the whole mom's subplot could have been cut out. There was no real reason to have that subplot in it.
Well,
you know, that could have saved 20 minutes, because I felt like I felt like it was poorly written to and executed. But you can let me know your thoughts. But I will end on this. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, I just want to end. I will say Shazam was a big miss for me. I thought it was a huge letdown. I felt like it's an airplane movie for sure.
It looks stupid from the commercials. God, I'm sorry.
So, and you know what? I think it's for the 13-year-olds out there that want to see a fun superhero movie without too much going on. And I think it's targeted towards them. It's not targeted towards, I think, the adults who want to see kind of more of the Marvel or even the serious DC movies.
Can I say this to Chica before you go on? When I was in LA a few weeks ago for my birthday, they promoted you saw billboards everywhere. Even at the bus stops, they had, you know, the posters and sign. You know, they promoted the mess out of that in LA. That movie, Shazam. Anyway.
Well, it was like the finish line promotion, because they didn't start promoting this movie until later on. Like, we didn't know that this movie was coming out last year, like they do all the other movies. We knew Wonder Woman was coming out a whole almost 2 years before it came out. We knew about Aquaman a whole 2 years before it came out. We knew about Justice League a whole 2 years before it came out. So DC, again, they have their babies. They have their projects that they want to support and push.
So you think they just didn't put effort? They didn't put effort into it, to the whole.
No, they did. They did not. Yeah. They did not at all.
Okay.
Which is a shame, because Shazam is an integral part of the DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple things that I want to touch on. saw the trailer and I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to go see this. This looks like trash. But then, like, the more I watched it, then I was like, I have a duty and an obligation to go see this and to trash it on the radio. But I don't feel that way after seeing it. And I'm not saying that it's a good movie, but I'm just saying that it's a different movie. Like Adam said, it's geared toward a younger audience. If you're going there as a DC fan and you love the Justice League and you love Wonder Woman and you love Batman, this might not be the movie for you. Now, going back to what you said about the plot of the mother, the storyline with the mother, it did not work for this movie, but I think it does work for the Shazam overall storyline because, like we all know, he's going to have to join the Justice League. And part of his storyline is belonging, a sense of belonging. They kind of touched on it at the end of the movie with, him and that family. But that really ties into him belonging in the Justice League and him being welcome and fitting in and having a place amongst those people because he's an oddball. He's a child. And they're adults. And they're very serious. And that was what I was having issues about. Like, how does he stand up to the rest of the characters as they move along in this storyline? Because he's going to have to fight alongside them. But the way that the character is in the movie, I visually can't see that. Yeah. Especially seeing how serious Batman and Wonder Woman are. Aquaman's a little goofy, but I just don't see how it's going to fit in. I'm curious at this point. I want to see what they're going to do.
And that might be their route. Maybe they know that they can't really do the serious movies, and they might just shift to making more of these kind of fun, kind of tongue-in-cheek, movies with their universe.
I'm here to say they're going to lose me. They're going to lose me. I'm very serious about my heroes. So, with that being said, I thought that Shazam was suitable for 13 and under. Just my opinion. But the thing about it is, it only cost $90 million to make, and it grossed $159 million. So it was a success. Even though it made less money than the other movies, but balanced against the budget, it's a success. So they're looking at that as a win because it's major profit off of it.
Oh, yeah.
It was the lowest earning launch since Fantastic Four. And we all know what trash Fantastic Four was.
That's true.
Yeah.
It'll be around. And another sidebar, this is just kind of interesting, because you've seen Game of Thrones, but didn't the main actor look like Arya Stark from Game of Thrones, or was that just me?
Yes. No,
it's like his twin. It's like his long-lost twin or something like that. It's crazy how similar they looked. I couldn't believe it.
I agree.
But again, the acting was great overall. So I mean, no disappointments there.
So, which I also thought was interesting was Diamond Hansu, who is now playing for both brands. He's also Marvel and DC. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and he was in both Captain Marvel and Shazam, so that was a fun little tidbit.
Him and Ryan Reynolds, they have rare footing that way.
Yeah.
Even though they want to forget about Green Lantern, but it exists.
Yeah. But you also saw Pet Sematary too, right?
I did. Pet Sematary is the Stephen King remake. And you know how I feel about these remakes. You know how I feel about recycling stories. So, I found the new Pet Sematary to be a little bit more gross. Like, it was more graphic, there was more blood and violence in this version. And I don't remember clearly the ending of the first version, but the ending of this version, I don't recall it being in the first one. So this would definitely set up for another movie. Even though there was a Pet Sematary 2, Pet Sematary 2 had nothing to do with the original Pet Sematary. But the way this Pet Cemetery ends, it's a clear a clear note that there's going to be something else to follow.
Okay.
I heard this one was scary. Do you think it was scary?
Scary. It takes a lot to scare me.
Yeah.
It was disturbing. I'll say that. It was
Okay.
very disturbing.
Okay.
I can't say scary because it takes a lot to scare me. But definitely more gore, and definitely the violence was on point. The violence made you believe it.
Okay.
There's a couple scenes, of hacking and chopping and blood, that were like, wow, okay. So that made it more effective. I say check it out. Like, if you never saw the first Pet Cemetery and you can tolerate this movie, check it out. Or even if you want to compare. That's why I saw it, because I wanted to compare. But, I'm not for these recycled stories. I hate it. But this turned out to be okay.
Nice.
I'm sure Stephen King doesn't mind. He gets paid anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say this. If you guys want to make another movie, I mean, you did his movie It over again, and you did Pet Cemetery over again, why don't you do The Shining and do it really, really good? Because that could be... Matter of fact, I have a better idea for you. Don't remake The Shining. Make another Shining and use the hotel as the same premise, but different people and a different kind of plot.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Just saying.
I saw some movies. I've been on my movie kick
yeah?
lately. Not in the theater.
Come
Well,
on.
I saw Us last week, but I've been watching a lot of Netflix. And Netflix, they have their own productions they put together now. So the other night I watched three. The other day I watched 3 movies. The first one I watched, it was a movie with Diane Keaton and Morgan Freeman, and I love both of them. That's why I watched it. It was called 5 Flights Up, and it's shot in New York, which I love New York, and it's about they've been together for 40 years, and they are now debating putting their apartment on the market. They put it on the market in Brooklyn, and they're because of gentrification and everything, they're gonna make a lot of money, $1 million, whatever. So they're looking for a new place to stay. They end up staying there, but it's just the ins and out of that whole situation because it goes back on their history as a married couple. Then I watched a movie the other night, which was really good, and they've been advertising a lot on Netflix, but I always pass by it. But I said, let me just watch it, and it was a movie with Woody Harrelson and Kevin Costner, and it's called The Highwaymen. And what they're hired to kill Bonnie and Clyde.
Wow.
Yeah, it is so good, and that's not usually a movie I would watch, but it was so good. I did fall asleep through it because I was tired, but it was really a good movie. It was really a good movie. I watched that.
It did look good.
It's really good, and I mean, I like history anyway, so just to see, because they travel all over the country trying to find them. And just the fact that the technology they had back then in the 30s and 40s, how, because it's not like they had GPS, so they had maps, so they would, the radio would say, oh, they were spotted here, you know what I mean? But that was really good. Mm-hmm. And then I watched, which I've already seen before, Obsessed, with Beyonce and Idris Elba. I've already seen that, but it was on Netflix. I said, I'll watch this. It's only an hour.
You're on a kick. Wow.
I am, and I watched the movie today, but I fell asleep through it. But definitely, I would recommend The Highwaymen. And if you like, I don't think it's a romantic comedy. I guess it would be considered that. But what's it called? 5 Flights Up. Because I love New York.
Yeah.
I love New York, so just that whole vibe, you know what I mean? But I also realized that because remember, Cheeky, I think I've told you before, I was debating moving to New York. Watching this movie, I realized maybe I wouldn't want to move to New York. I love it, but I can't do no elevators in most buildings. It's expensive and public transportation. But
and I will say this: New York will change you.
Yeah,
you will be a different person.
Oh yeah,
because you have to be.
And see in the movie they weren't from New York. But they moved to New York, and then they got their first place in Brooklyn, where they stayed for 40 years. And but yeah, I love New York though. I love New York. But yeah, that was what I watched.
DC's not that far from New York. You should just move here.
Well, I'm from Virginia, and DC is like my backyard.
Exactly. Time to get back to your roots.
Yeah. Can I shout out a TV show that I absolutely love? 911. We've talked about it before on the show. I think Chicky and I have with Angela Bassett. That show is so good. I think they had the season finale. Oh no, they didn't. Okay, no, because I saw a commercial for a new episode. But they had a really good episode. It was like a to be continued kind of thing last week. It is such a good show. Check it out. 911.
Okay, nice.
So the Shy is back. The Shy premiered second season last night. The first episode was a whirlwind. So if you haven't watched Lena Waithe's The Shy on Showtime, check out the first season. Second season has started. The first episode is out. I don't know if anyone is a Veep fan. I watch Veep on HBO.
Oh, yeah.
This is the final season. That show is hilarious.
Yeah,
and it's
definitely.
about
Highly
government.
recommend.
And if you're not even into politics, it's a good show to kind of teach you what the ins and outs of politics are and the buffoonery that goes on, because some of it is so dead on and they just make it funny.
Yeah.
But I can actually see that man that's in that office going through some of the things that Julia Louis-Dreyfus' character goes through in the Oval Office, or trying to get to the Oval Office.
Yeah. It's interesting.
The last...
I'm sorry.
What'd you say?
I say it's interesting because we have so many candidates now running for president, and I just can't only imagine what goes behind the scenes in these campaigns and getting everything.
And so that's what this season is about. It's the running for president. It's people throwing their hat in the ring to run for president. So it's pretty dead on. And the last show, definitely American Gods. I cannot explain to you how powerful this show is. The writing is so prolific. And of course, soon to be friend to the show, Orlando Jones, is one of the producers and star of this show. Check it out. It's on Stars.
Nice.
This is the second season for that, so we're maybe 4 episodes in, I think. 3 or 4 episodes into the new season.
Okay.
Definitely check it out. It's an original premise, original story.
Yeah, I read the book. And the book's amazing. So I hope they do the series, or they do the book justice, because I'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Anything else, guys?
No, just a few minutes till Avengers.
Yeah, and Little. I want to see Little. That looks
I want to see Little.
I didn't know anything about it, Steven.
Yeah.
Until you told me about it,
Yes.
and I saw the trailer, and I was like, this looks like a winner.
I have to see it. And they were actually on the View last week. Issa Rae and I can't think of the girl's name from Blackish, but they were on there. Their chemistry is great, so I can only imagine. And she's the youngest black female producer, executive producer on a comedy like that. So yeah.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, good for her.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, as always, thank you for letting us know what to spend our money on, what not to. I hope you have a great week, and we'll talk again next Monday.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right.
Right back after this.
So we taking over. One time.
Testing it, got it chasing, but the chupa she jackie. Forget never suffer, suffer, forget never suffer, suffer. I'm relying on the waiting, but I'm in the setting. Testing it, got it chasing, but the chupa she jacking. I said that you pass, she waiting, she checking, she looking and she not know what they are talking. I told her that trouble she causing, the way that she rocking and shaking her to my Onina Fatumata, put it on me like she from Kakatai. All the men and scatter, now bene awa in a chaklai. When you tie your lapa and you wear your skin test, when you rocking your tuma, Bange, I won't marry you. Chamu, I won't take you. Anything you want, I give it to you. Take my name, my money, my car, my clothes, my everything. waiting. But I'm in the setting. That's the nigga they chasing. But the jupa she jacking. Forget never suffer, eh. Suffer, eh. Forget never suffer, eh. Suffer, eh. I'm relying on the waiting. But I'm in the setting. That's the nigga they chasing. But the jupa she jacking.
What play you non-see funk, get capping. Like I said before, hungry line blocking. You leave it, another scam and we'll bop it. Grab it, squeeze it with dry face. That it done, you will be trying how to catch it. You know you're missing a casa bete. You fix it, all five, trying how to catch it. Then you won't speak serious now till they get. Pretty girl, let me take you out of dinner. I got a cheddar, forgive me, I was a sinner. Gonna be better from January down to December. Take trips, go to spots even in the winter. So sexy, gorgeous, and beautiful. Everything that we do is so memorable. I'm feeling you from your head down to your toes. Don't have to speak on it, I'm gonna show.
I'm relying on the waiting. But I'm in the setting. That's the nigga they chasing. But the jupa she jacking. Forget never suffer, eh. Suffer, eh. Forget never suffer, eh. Suffer, eh. I'm relying on the waiting. But I'm in the setting. That's the nigga they chasing. But the jupa she jacking.
Anytime she walking, the boy them be watching. Anytime she walking, the boy them be shaking. Baby girl, you temptation. Anytime you turn, girl, you confusion. Baby girl, you temptation. Anytime you turn, girl, you confusion. Baby girl, you blow my mind away. Anytime you turn like way, girl, you make me wanting you tonight. Forget, never, you never suffer.
I'm relying on the waiting. But I'm in the setting. That's the nigga they chasing. But the jupa she jacking. Forget never suffer, eh. Suffer, eh. Forget never suffer, eh. Suffer, eh. I'm relying on the waiting. But I'm in the setting. That's the nigga they chasing. But the jupa she jacking.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Aaron Cosby, how's it going?
Stevie K, what up, buddy?
I know you are working really hard. Law school student.
Bruh, like,
yeah.
Crazy.
It's gonna pay off.
We can go ahead and just go on to that sports. Like, we can just,
yeah, let's do it. I know you. Yeah.
Sorry,
take it.
One of them days.
Right.
All right. Final four is down to the top two.
Yeah.
Virginia,
Texas. Mm-hmm.
Who you got again, Stephen?
I want Virginia to win because I'm from Virginia.
Okay. And I want Texas Tech to win because I didn't like how Virginia beat Auburn because I wanted Auburn. And also, I always go for the underdog. Like,
yeah.
That's just who I am. So, Virginia Tech.
So you think Virginia got this? I mean, you think Texas got this? Texas got this?
Bruh, I'm rooting for Texas Tech. Yeah. So, which means Virginia will be the national.
Congratulations, Virginia.
Congratulations, bro.
Right.
Congratulations.
Right.
Quick question for you. If Virginia wins, are you going to do anything? Are you going to get a jersey?
I won't.
A shirt or something?
I won't, but I will. I won't, but you know my best friend Ty, and he went to Virginia, so he's all about it. You know what I mean? And Max's girlfriend from high school, she went to UVA, and she's all about it. I mean, all over her her page, and she even changed her profile page. Her kids are up there now, so they're excited.
I mean,
yeah.
This could be like really cool. Again, like I said last week, from first last year, with the whole situation to first, like this would be epic. So we'll see.
And I believe Virginia hasn't won since the 80s. Or hasn't been in the
Yeah.
championship ages. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been over 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's so
So
important.
it's
Yeah.
a long time coming. I don't think that they actually won the national championship.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
went to the Final Four.
Exactly.
back in
Yeah.
the 80s,
Right.
But they didn't. So this would be their first championship. If they
Yeah.
win.
That'd be amazing.
So
That'd be amazing.
you know, so hey, thumbs up, congratulations, good luck. Like I said, I won't take the tech, which means that UVA is national champion.
Y'all got this.
y'all got this. Oh, do you know if Kyle's watching it at a sports bar or anything? Is he at a party?
Probably not because it's Monday, but I know over the weekend he had something at his house on Saturday. So
oh, nice.
yeah, and he had his shirt posted on. You know, he was posting on Instagram and everything.
So he was probably salty when they let that lead slip.
Yeah.
Came back and they was about to lose. And
Exactly.
taking fouls
Exactly.
And stuff, and then okay. All right, that's all I got, man.
Okay. Well, look, have a great week, and we'll talk again next Monday. We'll see who wins. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, same.
Okay. Right back after this.
Something about the way you say my name when we make love, and it's something about the way your fragrance lingers as you lead them. Tat out the raindrops on my window pane. Tired of all the cloudy days that just never go away. Tired of all the raindrops on my window pane. Tired of all the cloudy days that just never go away. When you leave, it's like I lost the best part of me. Every time you go, I can't feel my heartbeat no more. Oh, baby, when you leave, something about the way I can't control myself when you're in the room. And there's something about the way things ended. Why did it all go so soon? Tired of all the raindrops on my window pane. Tired of all the cloudy days that just never go away. Tired of all the raindrops on my window pane. Tired of all the cloudy days that just never go away. When you leave, it's like I lost the best part of me. And every time you go, I can't feel my heartbeat no more. Oh, baby, when you leave.
You know what's funny, said you never let me go. Because when I tried to leave, you begged me to stick around like, baby, please don't cut me off, cause I ain't ready to leave you alone. What a joke, right? Now I'm sleeping by myself at night. You packed it up and ain't looked back twice. Am I the bad guy? I tried to be a beacon. You cut off my light. I could have been a pastrami.
It's like I lost the best part of me. Oh, baby, when you go, I can't feel my heartbeat no more. Oh, baby, when you leave, it's like I lost the best part of me. Baby, when you go, 'Cause tonight we'll be alone. No interruptions from the phone. You got my body feeling eager, dripping like I got a fever. No distractions will occur, 'cause you know what I prefer. Those famous three letters. Ooh, you and I gon' do it right. Ooh, you and I, what else gon' do tonight? We don't get it in, 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 get it in. Hey, we're gonna do it over and over. I'll have your legs within my shoulder. Hey, babe, you are the business. So let the neighbors witness how we put it down like this. From the bedroom to the kitchen, your love's like high definition. It's gonna be you and I for the rest of our lives. Those simple three letters go so ham together. Ooh, you and I gon' do it right. Ooh, you and I, what else gon' do tonight? We don't get it in, 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 get it in. Break it down, yeah.
This is Savage.
And this is Kai.
And we are from the Articulate Podcast, and you are listening to The Stephen Knight Show.
Well, that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Special shout out to Anthony Moore for joining us. Hope you all have a great week. Talk to you again next Monday. Peace and good night.
Tonight is all eyes on me. Everything